All right. Good evening, everyone. It is 5:45 p.m. It is September 16th, 2025. The City of Cape Canaveral Community Redevelopment Agency, CRA, regular board meeting. We are at 100 Polk Avenue in Cape Canaveral, Florida. I call this meeting to order. With that, Vice Chair Kellum, would you please lead us in the pledge?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sorry for blocking the flag. Honestly, I feel like I'm... Okay. City Clerk, please call the roll.
Board Member Davis. Board Member Jackson.
Here.
Vice Chairperson Kellum.
Here.
Chairperson Morrison.
Here.
And Board Member Willis.
Here. Okay, we've got 4 out of the 5 board members have a quorum. Thank you for being here and all the supporting staff for this agency. This time we can approve the agenda as written or amendments or with amendments. Board?
I'll make a motion. We approve the agenda as written.
Second.
Got a motion by Vice Chair Kellum, second by Board Member Willis. Any further discussion? Seeing none, City Clerk.
Okay, sorry. Board Member Jackson.
4.
Vice Chairperson Kellum.
4.
Chairperson Morrison.
4.
And Board Member Willis.
4.
Excellent. Approval as written passes 4-0. We're now on to public participation. I don't have any cards here, but if anyone intends to speak, please let me know and raise your hand or just come on forward. Anyone intend to speak during the public participation for the CRA board meeting? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and close public participation. We now have the consent agenda item, which is item 6, represented by the approval of the minutes, item 6.1, the approving of the meeting schedule and financial reporting requirements, item 6.2. That's all on the consent agenda item. There was a revised section that came out, and I believe that the change was striking May 20th, 2025 special CRA and inserting June 17th, 2025, or keeping June 17th. So it would just read with the one date. Approve or correct the June 17th, 2025 regular CRA minutes. Just want to note that change. We did get distributed to us in the meeting schedule. Council, the consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda
I'll
as
second.
written with
Yeah.
the amendment.
Got a motion by Board Member Willis, a second by Board Member Jackson to approve the consent agenda with the revised amendments. Councilmember or Board Member Willis, I believe that's what you said there.
Yes.
And that was your second, Board Member Jackson. Okay. Any further discussion? Seeing none, City Clerk.
Board Member Jackson.
4.
Vice Chairperson Kellum.
4.
Chairperson Morrison.
4.
And Board Member Willis.
4.
All right, consent agenda item 6.1 and 6.2 pass 4-0. We are now on to item number 7, action items. We have 1 action item, 7.1, resolution number CRA 14, adopting the CRA budget fiscal year 25 and 26. City staff's looking for a motion to consider the adoption of the resolution number CRA 12, the substance of which is as follows. But just before going to that motion, so we don't have to amend it, I want to refer to our city manager and director departments. Is there anything we should know here on this resolution?
We have our, oh, thank you.
Yeah, sorry, Community and Economic Development Director Tamsin Bell. Our CRA is currently just over $3 billion, and then our capital expenditures are for Canaveral Park redevelopment. The Presidential Streets Master Plan implementation phase, Fillmore will be the first street to start getting improved. We've had expenditures towards the design phase, and now we're actually starting to implement some of that project. And then the financial incentives program for residents and businesses, which was increased from $50,000 to $75,000, and then the Nancy Hansen renovations for just short of $300,000.
Thank you very much. Your Community and Economic Development Director. Council or Board, I believe we've heard here the overview. My one comment just up front would be, one year I remember we passed the CRA, we're passing the budget, and then we go into the regular budget, and there was something that was approved because it kind of went like this, it went fast. Then when we got into the budget, we were trying to, question that, and it was like, well, we've already adopted it, and that created some confusion and certainly understandable. But I just want to say, if we get in, there's nothing in here that would conflict, I think, as I heard, with that.
Correct. And then all of these are separate improvement items from the city's general budget.
And if there was a line item in the CRA that any of this board wanted to just say presidential streets as an example, a very large number usually, and we wanted to repurpose a portion of those funds for something, there's ways to do that and comply with state law.
There are the 1.2 million encompasses the entire project. However, the design phase was, I believe, somewhere around 250 to 225, and then that we've already spent towards it. Fillmore will be the first part to implement, and we have an entire design phase that is pretty comprehensive, and we're going to be implementing scaled down versions of that to address flooding in those areas.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Board?
So, may I ask, I'm sorry. Tamsin, on the Presidential Master Street Plan, we had talked before when it was at full development with the projected project when it was full blown. It was over $1 million. So this one, the 1.2, is, you said it's the total, but it is the scaled back part?
It's the total, and then we have the phases that go out for bid. And so, Tim, I believe we start going out for bid for construction, so we'll be in the construction phase. So I think that we won't be using that entire amount this year.
Okay.
Right, and yeah, it's going to be.
It's just
It's
earmarked
going
for
to
the
be.
project.
It's going to be all on how much we get done and how far along we get, because we do know that if the budget doesn't get used, the good thing about the CRA is we obligate it into next year, so we don't lose it, and that's a continuous thing. That's money in the bank that we don't lose. The
Okay.
budget's one thing, but this is actually cash we have. So
Okay. But this was the full proposal, and it could end up being less.
Correct.
And then I have one other question, Mr. Chairman, if you don't mind.
Please.
On the Nancy Hansen office complex renovations, can I get details on what that's going to be? Because it kind of changed when we were doing the roof and the electrical per the CIP before. So I just want to make sure I understand, what are we doing with this?
yeah, so by looking at the CIP that applies to the Nancy Hansen Council, I believe you have a budget that was printed for you. If you could just turn to that page, because I may not have that
Is
in this
this
meeting. Look
the
in.
project page?
Yeah, look at you can look at the project. No, go ahead and look
So-
at the actual CIP, because it'll tell you what.
124 is the page number I got for the CRA.
Thank you.
In the
And
budget book.
then we're going to go to CR4, so you could see what's actually being
Page
done.
128.
Okay,
Yep.
there you go. And then you can see where it gives you the project cost with the interior upgrades, electrical upgrades, the paint exterior, the shuffleboard court, the install, I'm sorry, I'm speaking of everything in that line, but all you're concerned about this year is the modifications, the electrical upgrades, the paint exterior, and then, of course, the whatever else, the roof didn't get done or whatever. So the reason why this will say 295, is it saying 295 in the budget you have? I want to know if that was
Yeah.
updated. Okay, because I didn't get.
And that's why I didn't
have the updated
understand
budget.
because,
And then that's the roof, so.
yeah, because we did 150, I believe, or 115 the year before for the roof, and that's not done.
Right.
And we didn't talk about doing the electrical at that time, but now we need to do it. And I'm concerned about the roof because I want a roof on there so it's not getting wet inside. But I was wanting to understand the project, so this.
So that's, yeah, those 4 items, the 3 there and the one you mentioned about the roof not being done, you add that together and that's where you come up with the 295.
So on the money that we had allotted for the roof last year, was that CRA money as well? I
Yes.
believe it was. And so it was used for, or is it sitting in a
It's just
reserve?
carried forward. This one's
Okay,
carried
it's just
forward.
carrying forward.
Yeah.
Okay. And so $150 on upgrades, interior. I mean, I'd like to understand more about that project, but I'm good with it because we need to get it going. But I'd like to know what kind of interior upgrades we're putting it on. And this roof installation is not going to be 100 because I have a bid where it's not, unless you have trusses
So if you want to really
Decking
drill down
and all of
specifics,
that.
the drill down in the specifics, you're going to be, when Molly gets back, you're going to be wanting to talk to Molly because
Yeah.
she'll know all the specifics.
Okay, all right.
I think the CRA is a little easier because if any maybe costs that are less or maybe things we don't know about that are more, any reductions in there, you know, we're going to be setting the tax rate. It's going to obviously impact the TIF revenues, CRA, but flooding is such a big issue that the funds could be, it wouldn't be necessarily taking it out as much as potentially repurposing the CRA money. But yeah, I think we could have that opportunity for Board Member Jackson to go through, maybe understand those and.
And the good thing, Mayor, about what you talked about, the flooding or whatever, if it's a CRA item and you're coming in lower on your other costs, you know, we could use that money directly in the capital initiatives line in this budget. And all we got to do is tell council, we're using it in the capital initiative. There's not a lot of, because the money's right there. You're just moving it within the same fund. So that's the thing that's nice about the CRA too, is because the money in the CRA is real money. I know that sounds funny, but I think
Well, and that's.
I
that's-
think you know what I'm talking about, as opposed to a
That's why I
budget.
was,
Yeah,
that's why I was trying to figure out where did it go from last year when we haven't
Right.
spent it yet.
Yeah.
So part of that, that is part of this CRA money. This is new money coming into that same CRA fund. So now what we didn't spend last year is accumulating.
That's
And this
correct.
is adding in on top
that
of
is
it.
correct.
Yes.
Okay, wanted to make sure.
Okay, we've reached,
Thank
I
you.
think,
Mr.
you're
Mayor, I
welcome.
just-
Yes.
Or, I'm sorry.
Vice Chair
Chair.
Kellum?
I just have a question about the Presidential Streets Master Plan. You say that we're going to do a scaled-down version of the beautiful plans we had until we saw the price tag. Has the council seen the scaled-down version of?
Well, I believe it's just a phased approach where we start with one street at a time.
Right, and I think this is, of course, Tim Carlisle will be back in another week. And as we move forward with this, he's going to be able to show you exactly what those phases are and what the approach is. You know, it'll show the specifics too, you know, like maybe in the beginning, we thought we were going to have all these little tree things with these 5-foot sidewalks, all this other stuff.
Right.
And he's going to explain to you specifically how this stuff might have been scaled down. And maybe it won't cost 4 million, it might only cost 2 million, but we'll have to see because I don't know at this point, because I don't know what the plan is yet, but.
Right. And I just, you know, with all that's happening with CRA money in the county and, you know, if we start with one street, you know, are we going to be able to do the rest? And I just want to make sure that we can reappropriate funds
Yes.
as needed in the CRA.
That's what's good about the CRA is that if you don't use $1 million this year, I'm just going to obligate that money to next year and they'll be sitting there obligated. And if it needs to be used in the next year, then we'll use it. But if it doesn't, it could just keep carrying forward. So
Thank you.
I think the councilwoman's question is going to be reappropriated for another purpose if the council.
that could be, yes, that could be done.
As long as it's
Same
within
fund.
the CRA boundary.
It's in the
and all
CRA
that.
boundary,
Yes.
yeah, it's,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony.
So we need a motion.
And that was similar to my question. Yep, I think that's it. Yes, we would, the motion is proposed written here, if we're ready.
Make a motion to approve resolution CRA 14.
I'll second.
Got a motion by Board Member Willis, a second by Vice Chair Kellum, to approve resolution number CRA 14, which is adopting the CRA budget for fiscal year 25-26. Any further discussion? Seeing none. City Clerk?
Board Member Jackson,
4.
Vice Chairperson Kellum,
4.
Chairperson Morrison,
4.
and Board Member Willis.
4.
Resolution number CRA 14, adopting the CRA budget fiscal year 25-26, passes 4-0. That is item for action 7.1, which is the end. We have no unfinished business, no new business. So with that, council, we'll go ahead and adjourn. All right, we obviously have our meeting at 6. Let's just take, got to change the tags, and I think let's try to take